The legging world has been through a lot. First, we had the unibutt look, which just made your butt look like a pancake. Then we went all the way to the other end of the spectrum with a full scrunched up sphincter looking scrunch, which was super in your face and honestly not even that flattering. Now we have settled somewhere in the middle, which are hidden scrunches, which give you the best of both worlds. You get a little contour up the glutes to give you a little bit of separation without being super scrunched. You're basically getting a little glute enhancement without anyone even knowing. Today we will be reviewing the best hidden scrunch leggings. I actually reviewed the best hidden scrunch leggings about 2.5 years ago, but don't listen to any of those at this point because that was before hidden scrunches were really a thing. And I literally struggled to come up with like 5 options. Now I can think of so many options, but I have a bunch that I am just constantly reaching for from all different price ranges. We have options from $75 all the way down to like $30. So we'll be going over a bunch of different hidden scrunch leggings, including different types of hidden scrunches, whether it's actually scrunched, but then just kind of stretches out when you wear it, or if it's just a little elastic up the back rise to give you a little separation so we're getting away from that unibutt look. Whether the scrunches are invasive or not, all of the options today will have no front seam because I just don't do front seams. But sometimes that tension from the hidden scrunch can cause some camel issues, so we'll be going over if that's a problem. And lastly, the scrunch intensity. Is this just like a very moderate bit of glute contour, or are we getting full cheek separation? Personally, I love a hidden scrunch. I think it's such a nice way to just give a legging a little bit of, flatter the glutes a little bit without being super in your face, borderline shapewear leggings. This is like peak, subtle, enhance. You're not changing your body, you're just kind of enhancing what's there, which is what a flattering legging should do. Before we start with the first legging, we're going to talk about how to wear hidden scrunch leggings. I feel like sometimes I see people wearing these wrong. Start out obviously by putting the leggings on. Then you're going to want to just gather a little bit of fabric from the leg area, from the hip back around to the glutes. This allows that scrunch to actually sit where it wants to be. Some hidden scrunches are not meant to go all the way up the cheeks, like seam down the sacrum. Sometimes they're supposed to be just a little bit in that lower glute area, and that's it. I see people pulling them up. If the legging isn't meant to go fully up the cheeks and you pull it up there, you're gonna get a really long seam in the back, and then the waistband is gonna sit up way too high and it'll actually make your glutes look smaller. So it's kind of counterintuitive. So you kind of have to sit the legging where it wants to be. We'll also be comparing all of the hidden scrunch leggings today to our control legging, which is a legging that doesn't have really any glute contouring and no elastic, no scrunch up the back rise. So all of these leggings today, you guys have heard me talk about probably multiple times, so I hope this isn't boring for you guys, but since I'm always like reviewing leggings from specific collections, sometimes we don't get like the full picture of all of the specific types of leggings together. So let me know if you like this kind of comprehensive review of things that I've already talked about before, if we maybe want one for like cross waist leggings, for example. So let me know in the comments if you like this kind of video and what else you'd like to see. First, we're starting out with a legging that this brand actually made it in both hidden scrunch videos. They actually were doing hidden scrunches back 2.5 to 3 years ago at this point. We have the Paragon Levitate Sculptseam Plus legging in the RecStretch fabric. So the first time I saw a hidden scrunch was in the Gymshark Whitney leggings. They had that elastic up the back rise. That's the first time I saw it, but Paragon has definitely been one of the pioneers of the hidden scrunch. Every single one of their leggings has a hidden scrunch, and let me tell you, they do the hidden scrunch so well. I got a size small in these. Everything from them is very true to size. They come in size extra small to 2XL, and these are a 25-inch inseam, but they are very stretchy, so I can basically get a full length out of them. And let's talk about the hidden scrunch on these, because these are the Sculptseam Plus. This is my favorite scrunch style from Paragon. This is what I would call an elasticated scrunch. So basically they have an elastic that they've integrated up the back rise here. It's not a separate elastic that's sewn on the inside of the back rise that we'll see next, but it's elasticated, and you can see there is a little scrunching, but when you put it on, that all just goes away. And this is definitely going to be one of the highest intensity scrunches of the day. Honestly, it reminds me of wearing my Alphalete Amplifies, but like a non-seamless version. This is their RecStretch fabric, which is very lightweight and sleek performance. Then we get into the one issue I have with Paragon. I think their leggings fit me like an absolute glove. Never need to adjust them. Literally look so flattering on the glutes, waistband snatches. Everything about the design is just so flattering and fits my body so well, but I just don't love their fabrics. I don't even think I've worn these that many times, but you can see kind of at the top here, like I've barely worn these and I'm already getting like some areas where they're like kind of beginnings of pilling. If you rub up against anything in this fabric, they just pill very easily. So that's my one thing with Paragon, where I still don't find myself recommending them that often because I do feel like their fabric needs work, but their designs are so flattering. It kills me. Anyways, some more about these leggings. They have a high rise. These are the Levitate Sculptseam. They have the double seams here. They do just have like a classic Sculptseam Plus. I also love that they actually have this power mesh in the waistband of their leggings that first of all snatches the waist without ever squeezing me, but it also prevents these from sliding down, which otherwise this kind of sleek fabric may have issues with sliding down. I love that feature on the waistband. We have no side seam, and then we have those V contoured seams at the back that just kind of perfectly sculpt the glutes. These are about a low to medium compression, and I do give them a high on the booty scale, which only 2 of the leggings today I actually give a true high on the booty scale, but you guys can let me know if you disagree in the comments. I would say that these are not cellulite friendly. They are quite thin and they're not brushed, so definitely be cautious with cellulite. Also in terms of sheerness, I definitely would stick to a medium to darker colors because the light colors in this fabric are very thin and can get sheer. Like I said, medium to high intensity on the scrunch. This scrunch does definitely sit between the cheeks like almost all of the way. And in terms of short, medium, long glute friendly, I would say that these are very middle of the road, medium glute friendly. And yeah, overall, I absolutely love the shape of these. There was a period of time when I first started getting into Paragon, I was wearing these like every day, and then I just was getting little snags and things a little bit too often for me. So they fit like a glove. They also never cause me any crotch tension or anything, which is amazing. Let me know what you guys think of Paragon in the comments. I do think this fabric is improved compared to the fabric I tried years ago for the hidden scrunch, but we're like almost there, just like a little bit more. Next up, we have the Paragon original Sculptseam leggings in the Reluna fabric. I did want to review 2 leggings from them because they have their Sculptseam Plus, often in RecStretch, and then their regular Sculptseam legging, often in the Reluna. These are actually flares because I've like gotten rid of all of my Reluna regular leggings because I don't like the Reluna fabric for regular leggings, which we will get into in a second. Anyways, I wear a size small in these. These are actually flares, so I wear a size small long. The original Sculptseam leggings are $68, and they have a high rise, double thickness waistband, but no internal mesh here, no front seam, triangle gusset, and these are a lot more subtle in the back. You do have V contoured seams, but you can see here with the original Sculptseam, it just looks like a normal seam up the back, but if you look at the inside of the leggings, they actually have an elastic up that back rise. This was kind of Paragon's Sculptseam that they had for a long time, and honestly, because this fabric is a little bit on the thinner side, it still does give pretty good glute separation. So like I said, this is their Reluna fabric, and this fabric is hard to describe. I actually like it even less than RecStretch. It's very low compression. It still does have a little bit of body hugging, but in their regular style leggings, not flares, this fabric does slide down quite a bit, which is why I prefer the RecStretch. I also find this one kind of easily snaggable. So this one I find snags more. The RecStretch I find kind of pills more, but this fabric does work well for a hidden scrunch legging. Since this fabric again is on the thin side, I would say it's not very cellulite friendly, and again, be cautious with lighter colors because it can definitely get sheer. I just don't feel like the fabric is like very dense. Like you can just almost see the stitching when sometimes I don't very dense legging, like you can't even see where the stitches even are. It is slightly brushed though. Looking more into the scrunch, again, we just have an elastic up the back rise, and the scrunch intensity I would say is medium. It actually goes up the cheeks again a little bit more than others that have the same style because the fabric is nice and thin. But again, it's really not invasive at all. You can squat in these. I never get any crotch tension. It never settles in places that it shouldn't. I would say these are also pretty medium glute friendly. These are actually their front slit flare leggings, and I will say I have 4 colors of these because they came with these really cute matching fitted tees that those outfits I wear all the time. This is them in another color. You can just see on the hem here, it's just kind of like honestly kind of falling apart. So it just kills me because their leggings are so flattering, but I do have quality issues where I'm like, is it worth $70, you know? Next up, we have the Ptula Pureluxe Sculpt leggings. I got a size small in the 26-inch inseam, and these are $74. This was another very early on hidden scrunch for us. I think I put these in my best activewear of 2023 as the best hidden scrunch leggings, which back in 2023, these were known as the Sierra leggings. They have changed the name and the structure a little bit. They were the best hidden scrunch leggings back then. Now I feel like we have some better competitors. Anyways, these are a high to ultra high rise legging, double thickness waistband, no top band, no front seam with an extended gusset. This is one of the changes that they made because they were giving me just insane crotch tension. This improves it, but it hasn't completely eliminated it, which is kind of a bummer because I want to love these. These are made of the Ptula Pureluxe fabric, again, formerly known as the Sierra fabric. And this is a mid-weight, pretty heavily brushed legging. It has stretch, but it's also a medium compression with a little bit of hold. Because of that, the scrunch doesn't go up the glutes quite as much. So when we look at the back, we have some curved seams. And again, it looks like a normal seam up the back. But if you look at the inside of the leggings, we do have an elastic up the back rise to create that hidden scrunch effect. In terms of the scrunch intensity, I would consider these low because they just have the elastic, and then it's a little bit more of a dense compressive fabric. So the scrunch doesn't have enough strength to like pull that all between your cheeks. So you just kind of get a little bit of glute separation, just kind of at the bottom half. It's subtle. I would say that these are more medium to long glute friendly. I give these a medium to high on the booty scale. I would say that these are cellulite friendly, mostly in medium to dark colors, but it is quite a thick fabric with a little bit of a brushed quality to it, so that does help with cellulite. These do also come in a 23 and a 26-inch inseam, so I love having the options. Lately, they've also come out with an option called the Pureluxe Classic legging with no scrunch at all. Again, one big drawback with these leggings is whenever I squat, you know, kind of move around too much, it does kind of settle into place and give me some crotch tension. I think the issue is that the back rise is a little bit too short and it kind of dips down the back waistband. And I only kind of like recently figured this out, that I feel like they made the back rise shorter so that it would go up the cheeks more, but it ends up just dipping the back waistband and just giving too much tension because the fabric is so compressive that you really can't pull the scrunch between the glutes that much. So it just kind of creates that dip back, a little bit of crotch tension that makes it a little bit uncomfortable. Again, this doesn't happen to everyone. Crotch tension is very personal. I still often wear these leggings, and overall I think they're the best option if you like a more high-rise legging and you want a little bit more hold and just kind of like a subtle enhancement. With the Pureluxe fabric, in terms of sheerness, I would say most colors are good, but they definitely can get a little bit sheer in lighter colors. I'm always totally fine with nude underwear. Next up, we have the Alphalete Tenacity wrap leggings. They also have a version without the wrap called the Everyday Core leggings, but I prefer the wrap waist ones, so we're talking about these. So I actually get a size medium in these, and they are $64, which I was kind of impressed. I feel like that's like $10 cheaper than like Ptula and Buffbunny. So Alphalete being a little more affordable. So first of all of their Tenacity bottoms basically run a full size small. So I'm normally a small in Alphalete. I get a medium in these. They fit me perfectly. These are made of their Tenacity fabric, which is one of their thicker, denser, but like ultra velvety soft materials. So it's dense, mid-weight, very brushed, very soft, but still has good stretch to it, but it does give you about a medium compression. So we have no front seam. We have a slight V dip down in the front with a true cross waist. Unfortunately, these do have a top band. That's one thing I don't love about these leggings. I find it doesn't really cut into me that much, especially when I size up. The top band starts around like 3/4 from the front and goes all the way into the back. I don't know why they put the top band. I feel like this fabric has enough grip that it doesn't slide down, but they have it. So if you don't like top band, beware. We do have a side seam here, but they actually made it curved, so that kind of like enhances your curves on the side. So I actually really like it. These also do have an extended gusset, and then the scrunch in the back. First of all, we have some delicate kind of V contoured seams here. Then we have that elasticated style scrunch, very similar to the Paragon Sculptseam Plus. The scrunch intensity, I would say, is low to medium. It gives actually more contour than I would expect because of the thickness of the fabric, but like I was saying, the fabric is kind of compressive, dense, so it doesn't go all the way up the cheeks, but I do find it very flattering. I give these a medium high on the booty scale. They're mostly cellulite friendly because the fabric is pretty thick and dense. These are more short to medium glute friendly. Overall, these are more of a mid to high rise legging, so better for shorter torsos. In terms of sheerness, I find it's generally not an issue. Their Tenacity fabric is probably their most squat proof fabric. It's very thick, very dense, and even in the lighter colors, I haven't had any issues. And the crotch tension, very mild, I would say, when working out. When I had my normal size small, I definitely had more issues, but with the medium, I basically have no crotch tension issues, so not something I really think about with these. Honestly, I'm reaching for these a lot more than I would think for a legging with a top band, but they're just so subtly flattering with a little contour on the side, the little scrunch in the back. I love these. The last legging in our higher price point category are the Buffbunny Aggressive Scrunch leggings. I get a size small in these and they are $72. These are very, very popular and very loved. I do personally have some problems with them, mostly in this area. But anyways, first of all, they're a almost high-rise legging. They're between like mid to high and high-rise. They definitely are a little bit more short torso friendly. They have a tapered waist, so they do really kind of snatch the waist even though they are a very low compression fabric. There's a soft V in the front of the waistband, no front seam, and slightly extended oval gusset. They're made of the Buffbunny butter fabric, which is their most lightweight fabric. While I haven't had a lot of issues recently, I have had pilling issues with this fabric in the past, and it's just so naked feel that I just feel like it needs a little bit more grip to the body. So personally, I prefer something that just kind of hugs the curves a little bit better. I do find this one can be a little bit slippery, which is why they taper the waist so much, or else they would slide right down. Overall, the butter fabric is a low compression compression and is not very cellulite friendly because it is on the thinner side. It does have a slight brushed feel to it. We do have a side seam, and then in the back, we have a very flattering situation back here. So the seams around the glutes really nicely contour right above the glutes there. I do give these a high on the booty scale because I do think this is one of the most unique and well done of the hidden scrunches. So you can see at a glance, it almost looks like it could be like the Alphalete Tenacity or the Paragon Sculptseam Plus, but it actually is a whole different type of scrunch entirely. I call this an elasticated scrunch with an internal elastic. So it kind of combines the two scrunches, but when it stretches out, the seam is not very noticeable at all. It's really hard to describe exactly what the scrunch is doing, but this one does sit between the cheeks very well. I would say it's a medium to high intensity, again, because of that thinness of the fabric. It just sits between the cheeks almost entirely. And I would say that this is more short to medium glute friendly. In terms of sheerness, the butter fabric definitely gets sheer in lighter colors, so be aware of that. I'm usually okay with nude underwear, but if you are very mindful of scalp proofness, stick to the medium to darker colors. And my main issue with these leggings is I get so much crotch tension that they're almost unwearable for me. This doesn't happen to everyone. I think part of it is because they are a slightly lower rise legging and I am taller, so where they want to hit on me, it just kind of pulls everything up a little bit too much. I am going to try to get a medium in these eventually, see if that solves the problem. But for me, I get a lot of crotch tension in these. Let me know if I'm the only one. But I know people love these leggings. If you are a little bit of a shorter torso, you want a super flattering scrunch in the back, and you like a very lightweight naked feel legging, you will really like these. Lastly, we have 3 really great affordable options. If there's one thing I like to do on this channel, it's to show you guys that you can get incredible options in an affordable price range. Some of these I like more than the expensive leggings. First up, we have the Kamo Fitness Featherlite Enhanced leggings. These were one of the first affordable hidden scrunch leggings I ever had. I wear a size small. These are $34.98. They come in a size extra small to extra large. These ones are a 27-inch inseam and they are a high rise. We have a double thickness waistband, no top band, no front seam. Something that's kind of distinct about the Featherlites is they have a very wide waistband. It doesn't sit too low in the back, but in the front, you actually do get a little bit more lower tummy control than some of the other options. We have a triangle gusset. The fabric is their Featherlite fabric. And this is kind of like what I want Buffbunny butter to be. It's lightweight, but it still has a really nice body hugging feel to it. It just hugs all my curves. It grips your body, doesn't slide down. It does have a little bit more of a brush feel to it, but I haven't had any issues with this fabric pilling. I think the Featherlite fabric is amazing from them. It's about a low to medium compression, so not completely naked feel. And then we get to the back. So we have some very slightly curved seams here. This one is very subtle in the back. I would say that these are somewhat cellulite friendly because of the brushed layer to them, a little bit of hold, but not completely cellulite proof. The scrunch type is just an elastic up the back rise. So looks like nothing from the outside, but we do have that elastic up the inside. I would say the scrunch intensity on these is on the low to medium side. They are a lightweight legging, but they still have a little bit of hold to them. It doesn't go completely up the cheeks like something like the Paragon Reluna leggings. So this one's a little more for my subtle girlies. Still enhances nicely, but it's not super in your face. Also, I never get any crotch tension in these. These are very comfortable, just kind of hit all the right places, but never squeeze me in any way I don't want to be squeezed. I would say these are more middle of the road, medium glute friendly. And in terms of sheerness, I would say light colors can be a little bit on the sheer side. Again, nothing I wouldn't personally wear to the gym with nude underwear, but if you're very conscious of it, I would stick to the medium to darker colors. Overall, I always love wearing these. They stay in place all day. They're very subtly flattering. I love the material. I love the length. I love the rise. These are a great classic affordable option. Another recent favorite affordable option I've been loving are the Ingia Cloudlift scrunch leggings. I wear a size small and these are $32. They come in size extra, extra small to extra large, and they have a 25-inch inseam. These are made of the Ingia Cloudlift fabric. So they have their Cloudluxe fabric, which is a very lightweight, naked feel fabric. Sometimes I feel like it could slide down a little bit. Their Cloudlift fabric is basically the same thing with just a little bit more hold to it, so it just grips the body a lot better. It's soft, light to mid-weight, and lightly brushed, but it just has a low to medium compression to just kind of hug the body. I would say that this is a little bit thicker than the Kamo Fitness Featherlite, but a little bit less brushed. In terms of the structure of the leggings, we have a double thickness waistband. It is slightly tapered. The waistband isn't quite as wide as the Kamo Fitness one, but it still kind of has that kind of more like rounded shape. No front seam, triangle gusset, no side seam. And then in the back, this is the only affordable option that I feel like has a little bit more obvious branding. So I do prefer how the other two are a little bit more subtle. We have the curved seams in the back, and then we have that elasticated scrunch. I would say this one is a low to medium intensity. Again, because this fabric has a little bit more thickness to it, a little bit more compression. It doesn't completely go up the glutes, it's more of a subtle moment. I would say that these are medium glute friendly. I give these a medium to high on the booty scale, and I would say that they're somewhat cellulite friendly, but not cellulite proof. Overall, these are one of my go-to affordable leggings. They don't give me any crotch tension. They may be sheer in lighter colors, so just beware, but this color is totally fine for me. Honestly, these do feel similar to the Kamo Fitness Featherlite leggings. I just kind of forget I'm wearing them. They don't pinch anywhere, they don't cause any crotch tension, they're very subtly flattering, and they're just a great affordable basic. And our last affordable option, I just recently discovered these, and I've been loving them. These are the YEOREO, I really struggle to say that name, YEOREO Edwine Hidden Scrunch leggings. What a name. I wear a size small. These are $28.99. And I feel like this legging is if the Buffbunny Aggressive Scrunch and Passionate Scrunch leggings had a baby, it would be these. They come in size small to extra large, and they come in two inseam options. They come in a 25-inch and a 28-inch. I got the 28-inch because I'm tall. These are a high rise. We have a straight across waistband. This is definitely the shortest of the affordable waistbands. No front seam, triangle gusset, no side seams. The material on these is a nylon spandex, and it's definitely a thicker material. I would say it's like a mid to heavyweight, dense, brushed fabric, but has really good stretch to it. So this is going to be a great legging if you just really want some good hold. I would say they're about a medium compression, maybe a little bit more than the Alphalete Tenacity, but not quite as brushed. And then we go to the scrunch situation in the back. We have the contouring glute seams, and then we have the elasticated scrunch, similar to the Paragon Sculptseam Plus. I would say that these are a low to medium intensity, definitely more of a subtle enhancement, even though they have that more high intensity style scrunch because they are a little bit thicker. They just kind of smooth out and just kind of gently contour, give you a little bit of cheek separation, not a ton. And in terms of sheerness, the material is very dense, so it shouldn't be an issue. I would say that these are more medium glute friendly. Medium high on the booty scale, I would consider these cellulite friendly because they do have a little bit more thickness, a little bit of brushness to them, a little bit of compression. For some reason, the shape of these just kind of reminds me of the Buffbunny Aggressive Scrunch, even though the scrunch isn't exactly the same and they do have a slightly different seam style. I just feel like these are the higher rise version of the Buffbunny Aggressive Scrunch. So they haven't been causing me any crotch tension or anything, which is great. It's me popping back in for two more affordable options because of course, right after I filmed this video, like literally like 2 weeks later, two of my favorite affordable brands also just came out with pretty good hidden scrunch legging options. So I just wanted to quickly throw these in here. We have the CRZ Yoga Secretsculpt Women's Butterlift Scrunch leggings. These ones are $32, and these are very, very similar to the Ingia leggings, basically almost exactly the same, except for a few little differences. So first of all, these are made of the Butterlift fabric, similar to how Ingia had their Cloudluxe and their Cloudlift. CRZ Yoga has their Butterluxe and their Butterlift. The difference is CRZ has more of a brushed feel, so Ingia is still a little bit more of a lightweight, almost has a performance feel. It's just a very light brushed layer. The Butterlift is probably my favorite CRZ fabric. It does have more of a light to medium compression as compared to a light compression, and it has just more of a brushed, soft feel. Other than that, everything is very similar. So these are a high rise, double thickness waistband with no top band. We have no front seam. The gusset is probably the main difference between these and the Ingia. The CRZ has an extended gusset that goes all the way down to below the knee. As opposed to Ingia, I think it is a triangle gusset. We have no side seam on these CRZ leggings. And then the back is essentially identical. We have the logo, we have these slightly curved seams around the glutes here. Medium to high on the booty scale, it is that elasticated style scrunch. Again, the scrunch intensity is kind of low to medium. I get no crotch tension on these at all, so they're a very comfortable legging. True to size, if you're in between, I would lean towards sizing down, especially if you have a smaller waist, because you can just see it's a little bit more of a straight up and down legging. I don't get any gaping, but it's definitely not compressive on my waist. And it's just really nice to see CRZ finally doing a no front seam option. I have talked about these on my channel before, but they just needed needed a place in this video. And lastly, we have the Unissu Hugcurve Hidden Scrunch leggings. These are a size small again, and these are also $32, so very similar price point. And Unissu also did a similar thing with the fabric. I feel like all the Amazon brands were doing these like very thin, super naked feel fabrics, and then people were asking for just like a little bit more hold. So Unissu did a very similar thing. This is a slightly more dense compressive version of their original fabric. I would say this feels more like the CRZ Butterlift versus the Ingia Cloudlift. Yes. It has a very similar feel, like light to medium compression with a soft brushed exterior. So these are true to size if you're in between. Again, I just don't get a ton of waist compression out of these, so size down if you're in between. We have about a high to ultra high rise. They do fit me just a little bit higher than the CRZ. And these are a little bit more angular, if you will, compared to the CRZ. The front waistband does have a slight V dip down in the front, so it's not just flat across. You get a little contour, a little definition in the front, not a ton of lower tummy control because obviously just doesn't go super low. No front seam, and then the gusset is a triangle gusset on these. These ones do have a side seam. Sometimes you guys ask me like, what's with the side seam? Honestly, I've never chosen a legging because I like or don't like a side seam. Usually it does add just a little bit more compression to the legging because the more seams you have, the more compressive it is, but usually it's pretty minimal. And then in the back, we have a little bit more exaggerated of contoured glute seams compared to that CRZ. So if you like a little bit more of a dramatic curved seam, these may be for you. And these also have that elasticated scrunch. Again, very minimally invasive, no camel toe, no crotch tension, medium to high on the booty scale. And again, kind of a low to medium intensity, not super intense, just kind of stretches out when it's on you. And these do come in a 25-inch inseam. Okay guys, so that is it for the best hidden scrunch leggings because I was hiding them. Again, I love a hidden scrunch when it's done well and it doesn't cause me any crotch tension. They can just be so flattering and just hug your curves in all the right ways. You guys always ask for my favorites. I don't know, man. I don't know. Honestly, there's pros and cons to all of these. Some of these that maybe not be my favorite, maybe your favorite. Again, something like crotch tension, that's different from person to person. Let me know what other legging categories you would like to see me do this style video in. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!